What's up, good people? This is Isaiah. And as we look at the tape, we're talking about Xianhua here. I was asked a question in my last video on what was the exact question? Let me start there first. I believe the exact question was like doing like team comps, if you will, like building around characters, the overall premise of the question here. And I'm like, okay, good idea. So I figured I'd go ahead and do that. Really, it'd probably be beneficial to a lot of people, actually, when doing something like that. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. Shout out to everybody that actually did get Xianhua, right? Pretty dope. She is pretty good as a overall character. In fact, I believe this was the exact team comp that I used when taking on Proto-Eden Shadow. Of course, characters died because I didn't know the fight was actually going to start. I would have used a completely different team, but I basically walked in there. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Let's go back, figure out what some of this stuff is for, and next thing you know, I'm in a fight, and I'm like, oh, didn't see this one coming. So this was the team that I used. All right, not the best team to use for a fight like that, but it worked. All right. So I probably could have cleared it in like 2 turns if I used like Oma and Thilily, like went with like more of a crystal zone type deal. Anyway, worked out just fine. So as it stands right now, this is currently what I have equipped to her. Can I get her to level? Oh yeah, no, I see it at 85 right there. Anyway, so Elpa's Rod here, Glimmer Ring, which she most likely doesn't need. It just improves her crit strength and speed. Okay, I'd probably go with something like the Dryad Ring, which I just got actually earlier today. All right, and then we improve her MP, so she's at 1684, and then the badge that we would typically give Yakumo to further increase the MP. All right, I believe, let me just sort by ability, and let me just see how high the MP badges go. All right, as soon as I find it. This won't take long, by the way, because I got rid of the bulk of my ability badges. All right, so that scrolling through would be easier. Okay, it only goes up 300. All right, that's fine, versus 200, but this also improves int as well. What to do? I think we'll just leave this as it is right now. No big deal. As far as the skills I'm going to be using, we have Trinity here, all right, which basically is self buff, which is good. And then Breakdown is what I'm using here, to decrease the and decrease the power of an enemy, because I'm going to be testing against Vars, right? He's my punching bag now, okay? Over the bags, I kill the bags too quickly. So we go with Vars on a challenge difficulty, and if you take him out, right, you still got like 4 turns left, all right, when it comes to testing and whatnot. So that's why I'm using Vars in all my fights, all right, and all my testing. Plus, it's easy to get to, right? Anybody who has the actual archive unlocked, he's pretty much going to be the first fight. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll go with Breakdown here. And again, when it comes to picking the skill to use, hacking or breakdown, you would, if you know what you're about to be fighting, then you'll want to pick one that represents that. So, for example, if I knew I was going to be fighting Proto-Eden Shadow, I would have went with the hacking ability. Okay, sure, it improves power, but then it drops the int, okay? Increases the magic resistance and also decreases the physical. But then when I would use Tesseract in, say, a Stellar Burst, that power is decreased by 50%, and then the magic resistance will be decreased by 50%, thus making it so that the enemy I'm fighting against gets hit more, because, you know, Xianhua is going to do mostly magic damage, okay? And so that's what I would have picked, all right? Because most of the attacks in that fight, at least for me, were mostly magic based, all right? So just something to be mindful of, Okay. Tesseract obviously is here to sell our awakened skill, and then the link ability. Let me see here. It's just another skill that I did in fact use in that fight, though I most likely won't use it. Right? It's a toss up between Trinity. Okay, user gains non-type magic attack plus 50% and increased skill hits and 50% damage barrier. And then we have the other one, Link. Let's try Link here. So I'm just moving the skills, really, because typically it would be the other one. And then as far as Grasta, which I didn't show, right? Just Power of Pain. You guys all know this now. Well, there's poison here. Wow, okay, I did not know that. All right. So Power of Poison. I guess I just gave her all of Yakumo's stuff. And I'm wondering if I have an MP or... Let me see here. Is there anything? There's one for speed. What if there's any for MP? I'm pretty sure there is. I just don't remember where I would get them. Let's see. Let's just go to upgrade a random Grasta here, just to see. MP by 30. That's nothing. I'm pretty sure there is one. It might be in Omegaopolis, another dungeon, or in Trana. Most likely Omegaopolis. Anyway, so here's the team we have here. All right. If we look at, say, Palm here, the reason why we have Palm in the party is because right off the jump, because there's 4 staff users in the party, we start off with a magic stance. All right. So we don't have to worry about setting the zone. Okay. Her Grasta include absolutely nothing, right? Because that's all she's really there for. All right. Iffy, she's here. And her Grasta includes Power of Void Staff, mainly because of, the attack type that Xianhua actually embodies, right? Non-type attack, okay? No elements. Miyumpha here, obviously, for the buffing, okay? Kuchinawa here, all right? And he didn't even have any... This is ridiculous. Didn't have any badges or didn't have any weapon equipped to him, which is nuts to think about, right? Like, this shows you how unprepared I was for that battle against that enemy. All right, Proto Eden Shadow. All right. And his Grasta most likely won't matter, but just to show him Power of Agony, Power of Pain, things like that. Ideally, what I would actually give him is... Actually, I won't even use him. Let me throw in Yakumo here. Or any other KMS staff user, but ideally a staff user, so I can use this guy here who everybody hates, which is fine. All right, anyway, let's see here. We are looking for Almighty Power KMS, and I don't think he has anything else, actually. I don't know. Resonant Power Shadow, which I don't even know what that does, to be honest with you. I haven't used it. I just awakened it, and he's a light user anyway. Let's go ahead and go to Vars here. Again, he's the test dummy, right? And by the way, for anybody looking at these high scores or whatever, I'm not too concerned with them, really. Even though that's been completed for a long time, but I'm not too concerned with actually hitting these high scores for any of these Astral Archive enemies here. All right. Anyway, so let's see how we do here. All right. So we're looking at here. We're going to go ahead and use this link ability at the start of the fight. Use Diagnosis Love here, which is just buffing, your party. Okay. We'll use Rose Liliac. Or is that Iliac? Liliac, there we go. And then we'll use I'll Do My Best here as well. Though it most likely won't be needed, but the shield that we gain, may be worth using here. There's a buff there. She's currently at 2,694 MP. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and use Breakdown here We can use profane medicine, nocturnal progression, because in this case, this actually helps. One of the characters I am going to be testing later on is actually Tuva ES in a party with Xianhua, because Tuva has the ability to buff shadow users. You know what I mean? So they coming in. And we're gonna stick with helping my best for now.
Ouchie!
And then from here, we just go for third skill for everybody. Alright? And the reason why I'm doing that is to build up this AF bar. You know what I mean? Or I can use an AF and just hope to gain enough to use a stellar burst. In fact, we'll do that.
Die.
So we're not hitting damage cap with her just yet. We are getting there. The damage itself is actually pretty high, as we're about to see.
To unwavering truth.
So pretty high against most enemies in this case. Bleeding. There we go. There's that Trinity I was going to use. Now we're hitting the damage cap.
Feast.
So you'll find that instead of Palm, if I use, say, someone like Flamelopus, another style, we hit the damage cap much faster. Alright? And we'll see that as soon as I get there. I also believe I didn't use Please either. So that could be another reason why I didn't hit the damage cap either. Alright, Please here with buff Xianhua here. Alright, we just keep everything the same, doesn't even matter at this point.
Die.
Damage cap there. And again, this is just one team comp here that works depending on what you're up against. Okay, I can pretty much keep doing that.
Go.
Still hitting damage cap, back to a full AF bar, or half AF bar. And this fight's over. Okay, so that's just one team comp, and that's if you want to go with the zone. Okay, mind you that shared knowledge gets removed as soon as another force is used. Okay, so it's one of those things to keep in mind. Okay, moving on to the next team here. Here we have Flamelopus in this case, and of course we have Yakumo in the party, though he doesn't need to be here, but the question did come up, not necessarily in my comment section, but inside of David's Discord, where if I had to pick between Yakumo or Xianhua, who would I go for? And if I'm being honest, I would go for Xianhua, alright? Mainly because we don't have that MP problem, okay? And what I mean by that is Yakumo, even in another force, he uses MP, and if he runs out, then he's not doing anything. So you would need to have a way to replenish MP inside of another force in order to keep using Yakumo's abilities in that another force. You see what I'm saying? So we're gonna place Galliard here with Crevo. Okay. Where is he? Alright. And we're not actually going to give anything to him. Alright, because I don't really care what Yakumo's damage is. I just want to showcase what this would actually look like. Okay. So back against Vars. Again, he just became... He's just the punching bag. Alright. And we're going to use that first skill for everyone. Alright, and these are the skills I'm using for... Flamelopus. Okay.
Die.
There she is setting the zone. And of course, as we look, Yakumo again has the highest MP pool in the game. Because if we look at the difference here, 4,123 to Xianhua's 2,000, what is that? 822. Okay, it's ridiculous how high that MP is. Second skill for everyone to include Yakumo here. And then from here, we can pretty much do another force, but I'm also going to use this Trinity ability first, and then it's the third skill for everyone to include Xianhua.
Go. Begone, water.
You're fired! You're fired!
Now, mind you, like I mentioned before, that shared knowledge is now gone. Okay, it's no longer here, or at least it shouldn't be. Let's see here. AMS, those abilities are still active. Lunatic. She's still being buffed. Oh, she's the only one I can slide. Anyway, go ahead
Enlightenment
and use
is the
this.
key to unwavering truth.
Damage cap. Okay. And then I can pretty much just keep doing what I'm doing. And that's what I mean. Y'all come over running out of MP there. So you need to have a way to actually replenish it. And the only way to actually do that
Go.
is by using his Karma ability so that he self-damages himself in order to replenish his MP. Okay? Don't know what his another style version is going to be like. Alright? Hopefully it's good, which I'm assuming it is. You know what I mean? Considering how broken he was when he was released. Alright? And then I can just go ahead and go back to those previous skills. I can go back to using this here. I can further actually just do that there. Which, by the way, when you do that, let me see, he's supposed to lose Risk Taker, but he didn't, which is interesting. Alright? Not entirely sure why. He was supposed to lose mainly the buffs that come with Risk Taker, unless it's its own that I'm looking at here. But anyway, let's see what the damage is at.
Go.
Damage cap there. And at this point, I'm just doing this, waiting for this battle to end, really, to be honest with you all. Only one turn, just wait for this to be over with.
Go.
No longer hitting the damage cap there, so there are some benefits to having the other characters. And like I said, we can just keep testing against bars as well. There's that. Get out of here. And like I mentioned before, what would Venefica do? But first, let me test Tuva. I believe I have her in her normal style. Yep. Normal style. Let me add her to the party first so she's easier to make that change to. There we go. And the abilities I'm looking at here, Abyssal Powers. Alright. Which would buff our Shadow allies. Paladin Queen, which most likely won't need to be used, but we're going to use it anyway. And then Ringing Knight is just so that she has something to do inside of another force. Alright. So back in here, let me do this real quick. Though, in this case, that wasn't really needed. Back to the tomes. And first skill, like I mentioned before, with everyone.
How's this?
And then we can go second skill.
My. Let's dance. Begone.
And like I did previously, we're gonna AF here. Notice how the bar hasn't changed because no one's really doing any hits. But we're gonna go ahead and AF like I did previously, but like I mentioned before, we're gonna start off with Trinity first, and then after that, third skill for everybody. All right.
Die. How's this?
No damage cap being hit, which is fine. Never mind, spoke too soon. There it is.
Enlightenment is the key to unwavering truth.
Damage cap. Alright, so
How's this? Die.
and then we get all the HP and MP back. And look at the number. She's at 3,073 right now. We're gonna go ahead and use Tesseract, and we can just use first skill for everybody. Damage cap. Go one more time, keep all the skills the same.
Be gone. Water.
Yep, no damage
How's
cap.
this?
It's also worth mentioning that she's moving faster than everybody else in the party. Outside of Iffy, of course, because that Rosiliac ability is a preemptive. Alright, so there you have it. Here's another way to go about using her and buffing her to the max. Alright. Another character I've been thinking about is Chio, actually, or even Yifa, right? How would they actually impact Xianhua's abilities here? So we'll start with she's easy to find that way. We'll start with this one first. And of course, like I mentioned before, with thinking about AF in mind, we can have her not do anything and just have her keep buffing. Hence why it's the third ability. Which could definitely work. Really, because this water badge won't do anything. So. I don't use these skills much, is why I'm looking at them. Alright, we'll just keep them at where they're at right now. And then back to the fight against Vars here. Notice I'm keeping the same team as well. We're mainly just switching out one character. So Link, first skill for everything. Faith to Xianhua.
Water. Blessings upon you.
Then I can do another. That is unnecessary here, in this case at least. But we'll do it.
Blessings upon you. Let's dance.
I should have went with an AF. Which is going to be interesting because Yifa's not going to do anything during the AF. So we'll do this now. Looks like we're hitting the damage cap here. Who was hitting the damage cap? There it is.
Enlightenment is the key to unwavering truth.
We hit it once there, but not for all the moves. And that's simply because of how that buff works with there we go.
Testify. Go.
Nice. So, hitting the damage cap there. And again, this is really just giving people different ideas or different ways to use it. Alright, Tesseract it is. And we pretty much just use that first skill like that there.
Die.
And again, hitting the damage cap. Right, so there's another way to go about using her. Requires a bit of setup. Alright, there are other ways to hit the damage cap. Like if you want to do it in one turn, you probably could. If the speed of the characters was really fast. So what I mean by that is the more damage, or the faster the characters are, the faster the AF bar. The faster they're able to make a move in an AF. So it definitely helps for it to be pretty fast in that particular case. Alright, so There's just 3 team ideas, and I mentioned the other one being Chio. And I'm thinking about Chio because of how her, what's the name of her ability? I think it's Harai Jewel. We'll find out when this fight's over. Alright, let me see here. Chio? Let's see. Where are you? Staff, Earth, Light, Female. Let me see. Harai Jewel. Alright. Preemptive increased magic damage based on max MP value of all party members 3 turns. And magical crit rate is up and inflicts pain and poison. Alright. And when a magic zone, double the turn number and time counts of debuffs and status effects. So that's 6 turns. 6 moves. You know. That's why I was thinking about it. So without changing much to the team comp here, I don't even think Chio has a weapon. So this ought to be interesting. Now, ideally, I'd probably put her in a party because I would want to keep her MP as high as possible, actually. And this takes 60 MP. I believe it's normally 30. I think the MP consumption is actually increasing the number. Now, if you have the Proto-Eden staff, I believe, that can actually drop that number. Because I believe it does bullseye and MP consumption down. I just don't know the percentages yet. But anyway, let's go ahead and do this.
Go.
So that's at 115, which is fine. Okay. And second skill, though, this is going to be interesting because, again, I didn't do anything to Chio here, so I have no idea what these skills are going to be like. Because really, these are all just buffs being applied here. And then, like I mentioned before, we're going to do what I normally do. Get Trinity, and then 3rd skill. No damage can be hit there. Now that damage can be being hit.
Die. Enlightenment is the key to unwavering truth.
There we go. Saw a 5 there instead of a 7. That's interesting.
Let's die.
There we go.
Die.
So hitting damage cap with her.
Let's dance.
I don't remember what was taking down the HP of Xianhua and Flamelopus, or even Chio for that matter. I don't know, actually. I wonder if that was triggered by Trinity. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. First skill.
Take that. Go.
No damage cap there, but enough damage to take out pretty much most enemies. Alright, so again, the point of this here is just really just experimenting. Alright, with her in particular, better than what I did in my first video, or my last video I should say. And she works with a variety of different team comps here.
Die.
Okay. Obviously the higher, actually no, I think it actually caps at 2,000, but so far, my opinion of Xianhua here, pretty OP with her damage. Incredibly good with the damage potential here. Alright, it's just knowing what skills to use and when to use them is really where the challenge actually becomes, or where the fun comes in, really. Alright, so if I had to pick who to use her with, depends on what you're going for here. Flamelopus ES, geez, another style works just fine. Palm works just fine along with Mayumpha. I didn't test using Kuchinawa. I don't even know. Yeah, I didn't test using Kuchinawa or say Venefica. Tuval was pretty good as we just saw. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this one here. My actual testing with Xianhua here. Like I said, I mean, if you're gonna use her in combat, you most likely would build a team around her and make sure that she actually stays alive. Would be the other thing. So having someone like an Iffy in the party comes in handy. All right. You can pair her up with Annabelle ES, though I haven't done that yet. But considering if you have an all shadow-based team or three shadow units in the party, along with an Annabelle ES, Annabelle ES's HP jumps considerably. All right, so there's something like that to look out for as well. All right, but that's pretty much it for this one. I'm going to get out of here, and I will talk to you all later.